perhaps for your entire life, the way you have offered appreciation has been misaligned. You are beautiful. You look wonderful. You are so alluring. These words sound kind. They feel safe. But let me ask you to consider this. If she has heard these phrases 1,000 times from souls she can barely recall, why would your repetition of them create a lasting impression? It does not. A true connection is not born from flattery. It arises when she feels seen, mentally, emotionally, in her very essence. And that requires a different form of acknowledgement. The kind that flows past her defenses. The kind that allows her to feel perceived in ways she never anticipated. The kind that leaves an echo of your presence in her mind long after you have parted. This is not a lesson in using pleasing words. It is a path to creating genuine impact. Here, we will explore 3 profound expressions of acknowledgement. They resonate not because they are sweet, but because they carry a certain truth and stillness. Before we begin this exploration, I invite you to be fully present with this channel. We share deep insights daily for those who are ready to move beyond the predictable. And if you wish to embody this understanding on a deeper level, embrace the path of self-mastery and discover the presence that makes you truly unforgettable. Let us now look at the words that no longer serve and what you can offer instead if you wish for her spirit to feel stirred and her heart to feel seen. 1. Move beyond saying, "You're beautiful." Instead, express this. You have likely said it countless times, "You're beautiful." It seems to be a natural gesture of kindness, politeness, respect, or even romance. But here is a quiet truth. It does not create the connection you seek. She has heard it from every person who has ever desired her presence. From fleeting messages, from individuals for whom she feels no connection. It is an expected script. It is generic. And most critically, it does not touch her soul. It remains on the surface, and the surface is not where true bonds are formed. When you tell a woman she is beautiful, you are merely affirming what a mirror has already shown her. You are not offering her a new insight. You are not inviting her to feel anything unexpected. Now understand this. Beauty is a part of the human landscape, but acknowledging it in the same way as everyone else does not elevate your connection. It causes your presence to fade into the background. Do you wish to know what lands differently? Speak to the effect her presence has on you. Instead of, "You are beautiful," you might say, "There is a profound stillness in your gaze that quiets my own mind." Can you feel the shift? You have made it about the resonance, the shared energy, the space between you. You are no longer just an observer. You are inviting her into a shared experience. You are alluding to a deeper pool without being coarse. You are awakening her imagination, not simply stating a fact. Or, perhaps, I cannot tell if you are a serene landscape I wish to explore, or a quiet storm I wish to understand. This is not an observation about her appearance. It is an acknowledgement of your experience of her essence. And here is the subtle key. People are not drawn to you because you tell them they are attractive. They are drawn to the feeling of being truly felt, of being seen in a way that most do not invest the presence or the courage to express. And if you wish to go deeper still, use an acknowledgement that shifts the entire dynamic. Consider, you carry your beauty with a quiet indifference. That is a rare quality. Now, you are not just seeing her beauty. You are seeing how she relates to it. You are looking past the external form, the clothing, the posture. You are seeing her. That is where the genuine power of appreciation is found. Not when you state the obvious, but when you illuminate what most others miss. Let us break this down into a simpler form. There are 3 levels of acknowledgement. The first is safe acknowledgement. You are beautiful. You look nice. That is a lovely dress. These are acceptable, but they become the forgettable hum of the world. The second is connective acknowledgement. There is something in the way you move, or the way you just looked at me. I felt a shift within my spirit. These build a bridge of awareness and shared feeling. The third is soul level acknowledgement. Your presence makes me forget what I was about to say. Or, you carry yourself as if you already understand the flow of things. These invite her into a mental and spiritual dance. They enter her awareness and remain there. When you cease to say, "You're beautiful," and begin to communicate your experience, you distinguish yourself. Most have either never been shown this path or are afraid to walk it. But you are learning to speak directly to her spirit, not just to her ears. And here is the quality that separates the grounded from the unsteady. You do not offer these words to elicit a response. You offer them because they are an authentic reflection of your inner state, because you are centered enough to speak the truth that others may censor. That kind of delivery, the kind that lands with weight and sincerity, is what will bring you to her mind when she is in a space of quiet solitude. So, let me offer this for your contemplation. Have you ever shared a thought that made her pause, hold your gaze a moment longer, and offer a smile that held a shared secret? If you have experienced this, you know the power of saying less but meaning more. And if you have not, that can change today. Because what you express next does not just matter, it creates the energy that she either resonates with or lets drift away. And the acknowledgement we will explore next, most would not dare to offer aloud. But once you do, she will not hear anything else. 2. Acknowledge the unity of her mind and spirit. Most offerings of appreciation land in one of two places. Either they speak to the physical form, "You look so striking in that dress," or "Your posture is so graceful," or they attempt to speak to the mind, "You are so intelligent," or "You are truly fascinating," but rarely duly touch both at once. And that is why most connections remain on the surface before they have a chance to deepen. Here is the wisdom to consider. A person does not simply want to be wanted. They want to feel understood and appreciated in their wholeness at the very same time. That is what inspires true connection. That is what allows you past the walls. That is what makes her seek more of your presence, not just more of your words. So, what does this sound like? Consider this offering. You move through the world with a quiet certainty, and I must admit, it awakens a sense of wonder in me. Let us look at the flow of this. You move through the world with a quiet certainty. This is a deep observation. It makes her feel seen. It touches her inner state. It is not about her appearance, it is about her presence. Then, and I must admit, it awakens a sense of wonder in me. That is the gentle unveiling. That is what touches her heart. It makes her wonder, what is the nature of this wonder? You have sparked a connection without being overt. It is composed. It is sincere. And it creates a beautiful polarity. You are not offering a compliment to receive validation. You are stating a resonance she has created within you. This gently shifts the energy dynamic, and women are deeply attuned to such shifts. Here is another. The way you can sit in complete stillness with so much inner confidence. It is compelling. This one is profoundly insightful. It suggests self-control, grace, and inner strength. And you are responding to it not with awe, but with genuine intrigue. You are not just seeing her appearance. You are seeing what her bodily presence communicates. That is uncommon. Why does this hold meaning? Because people are not drawn to those who only see their surface. They are drawn to the souls who can perceive their layers. The physical, yes, but also the vibration, the energy, the quiet command they possess. It is like this. You are not describing her form like an adolescent. You are acknowledging the effect of her being like a centered man. And that is a form of appreciation that resonates through her skin and into her spirit. Let me give you one final example. You seem to be the kind of woman who knows exactly when to speak and when silence holds more power. Now this one is profound. Why? Because you are not just acknowledging her. You are showing that you perceive her wisdom and restraint. You are seeing a form of feminine self, mastery, which is a subtle yet powerful expression of being. She will remember that because no one else is speaking to this part of her. And that is the goal. Let me be clear. None of these expressions will have an effect if you deliver them like an actor performing lines or a boy trying to impress. The power is not just in what you say, it is in the state from which you say it. Relaxed, certain, as if you are not searching for approval, but simply sharing a truth that has arisen within you. Because when a man speaks from that place, he is no longer just a machine offering compliments. He becomes the experience, the one she reflects upon in her quiet moments. And that is what forms a genuine bond. She is not pursuing attention. She is pursuing the feeling you awakened in her when you spoke from your center. So, here is something I wish to know. Have you ever offered words that made her hold her breath for a second, as if her heart just caught up to what her mind had heard? If you have, perhaps reflect on that moment of connection, because that is when you know your words have landed in both her heart and her spirit. And if you have not, you are about to, because what is coming next will help you touch upon a truth most are too timid to even approach. Stay with us. 3. Acknowledge her shadows, not just her light. Most men only acknowledge the obvious. You are so kind. You are full of joy. You are so positive, safe, predictable, forgettable. And here is what they fail to understand. People do not want to be seen as perfect. They want to be seen as whole. And a whole person carries both light and shadows. So while every other man is praising her sunny meadows, you are going to acknowledge her wild, untamed mountains. That side she may hide. The edge she feels might be too much. The energy she quiets down because the world told her to be soft, nice, gentle. You do not ignore it. You honor it. You make her feel that the very part she tries to control is the part that holds her deepest power. Try this. There is a wildness in your spirit. I do not know if I should lean closer or give it the space it deserves. Now, pause. You did not say she is attractive. You did not say she is nice. You said there is something untamed within her, and you are drawn to it. And that awakens a new awareness in her. She has spent years trying to be good enough, nice enough, easy to like. But suddenly, this man sees the fire beneath and honors it. That is rare. That is liberating. Or this one, you possess the kind of energy that does not ask for space. It creates its own. Reflect on that. You are not praising how gentle she is. You are acknowledging a power behind her eyes. A power that most are too insecure to perceive. And when you do, you instantly distinguish yourself from every person who is just looking for a pleasant smile and some approval. But let us go deeper. Why does acknowledging her shadows work so powerfully? Because it is authentic. Because it is real. Because it tells her, I am not afraid of the totality of who you are. In fact, that is the part that I find most compelling. It is inviting in a way that compliments about appearance can never be, because it is not about the surface. It is about permission. You are giving her permission to be raw, unpolished, fierce, vital, sharp, and you are saying, without needing to state it directly, I can be present with all of you. That is not just attractive, it is magnetic. Let us not forget this form of acknowledgement only works if you are grounded enough to mean it. If you say it to manipulate, the words are empty, but if you say it from a place of presence, clarity, and calm, it lands with truth. Because deep down, every person knows their shadowed side is not wrong. It has just been hidden. And when a man sees it and does not flinch, she remembers him. Try this on a first encounter. There is a little beautiful chaos in your eyes. I think that is my favorite part of you. Boom. Not only are you moving beyond small talk, you are unlocking something she has not felt since the last soul who connected with her mind. Not just her body, her mind. You are not afraid of the storm. You are here to dance in the rain with her. So, tell me, have you ever looked a person in the eye and acknowledged the one thing they were hesitant to reveal? If this resonates, reflect on it in the space below. I spoke the quiet truth, because that is where the dynamic changes. That is when the connection stops being polite and starts becoming profoundly personal. And in the next part, you will learn exactly how to express something she has never heard, but will instantly wish she had heard from you sooner. 4. Appreciate what she is hesitant to admit she loves. Every person has something they secretly cherish, but do not speak of aloud. It is not the flowers. It is not the compliments everyone gives. It is not the, I like your eyes, or you are so sweet. It is deeper than that. It is personal. Sometimes it is even a little guarded. You see, most people have deep inner currents they cover with a veneer of polish and politeness. Currents of strength, of control, of a desire to be guided, of a longing to be seen in ways they are told not to admit. And that is where you enter, because while most are acknowledging the surface, you are going to speak to what she will not say she wants, but cannot ignore when it is offered. That is when her defenses lower. That is when her connection stops being logical and starts becoming elemental. Let me show you how. Try this. You love being in a position of strength, but I can sense a part of you yearns to simply let go. That is not just a line. It is a profound insight, and if you say it with calm confidence, not arrogance, it will land with the force of lightning. Why? Because it acknowledges the natural tension within her. She may be successful, commanding, a leader in the world, but what she often seeks in connection is polarity, contrast, release. And you just gave voice to what she would not dare say herself. That is true presence. Or try this one. You pretend not to enjoy being the center of attention, but the way you carry yourself tells a different story. Delivered correctly, this is not a judgment. It is a recognition. It is saying, I see you. Not the mask, but the energy beneath it. And that can be profoundly connecting, because here is what you must understand. When you acknowledge the part of her she is afraid to admit she enjoys, you are telling her, it is safe to be your whole self around me. Not the version she performs, not the nice girl. The full, messy, real, sensual, conflicted human being. And that is rare. Most people are not met in that space. They are either placed on a pedestal or pulled down into something shallow. Very few men know how to stand in the middle, grounded, clear, and bold enough to honor the fire she hides. Here is another example. You have this quiet hunger beneath all that calm. I would be lying if I said I was not curious about it. You are not saying she is too much. You are saying she is exactly the kind of alive you want to connect with. And the moment you say it, you have just offered her a kind of validation that does not just feel good. It feels real. Let me be clear though. This only works if you mean it. If you are present, if you are not performing, the second it feels like a tactic, it dissolves. But when it is truth, it is unforgettable, because for people, connection is not just about who you are. It is about how you see them. And if you can see the parts of her no other person notices, especially the ones she does not fully understand herself, you create a deep and lasting bond. So let me ask you this. Have you ever said something to a woman that made her pause, as if you had just unlocked a secret she did not know you could see? If yes, perhaps type in the space below, I saw it in her eyes. Because if you have ever seen that flicker, that flash of, how did he know that? You know how deep this goes. And if you have not, you are about to. Because the next form of acknowledgement I will show you shifts the entire dynamic and makes her start to seek the feeling only you can offer. 5. Allow her to feel seen, not just desired. Most men make the same misstep. They believe desire is the goal. They focus all their energy on statements like, you are so alluring. You are so striking. I want you. And certainly, that kind of attention might earn a smile, perhaps even a playful reply. But here is the truth. Desire is abundant. Every person receives it daily. Online, in life, at work, in the world. Desire is everywhere. But being seen, being truly perceived, that is rare. And if you are the man who makes her feel seen, you unlock something no comment about her body ever could. Let me show you what I mean. Most men acknowledge the effect. You are beautiful. I cannot stop looking at you. You enchant me. But the acknowledgements that truly resonate, they honor the cause. Try this. You seem to read people before they even speak. I can tell you carry that perception quietly, but it is sharp. You did not say she is attractive. You did not say she is lovely. You told her, I see the way you move through this world, and I honor it. That goes deep. Or this, you act as if you do not require attention, yet you are completely aware of the energy when you enter a room. Now you have made her feel understood. Not just looked at, not just wanted, understood. That is a rare feeling. And what is rare holds immense power. Why? Because every person, especially one who is accustomed to being desired, begins to filter out these comments. She builds armor. She grows numb to it. But when you slip through the cracks with a sentence that says, "I see the real you, and I appreciate that version more," that armor begins to dissolve. You are not another man seeking to get something from her. You are a man who is noticing what no one else takes the presence to see. That is what gets remembered. That is what sets you apart. Let us go deeper. Most men give validation to receive a response. But when you validate what is unseen, you are not seeking anything. You are offering presence, insight, depth. And whether she admits it or not, that kind of acknowledgement lands in a way she will not forget. Try this one. You appear to always be in perfect control, but I imagine your mind is a river that never stops flowing. That one sentence does two things. First, it shows deep awareness. Second, it makes her feel you are paying attention to the subtle things, her tone, her energy, the vibration she emanates that most miss. It is not romantic, it is not overtly sexual, but it is unshakable. It is the kind of acknowledgement that echoes in her thoughts later. Because every person knows what it feels like to be desired, but to be seen without performing, without smiling, without presenting a facade, that lands differently. Now, I am not suggesting you should avoid expressing desire. Desire is a powerful life force. But it should never be the first door you walk through. Lead with awareness. Lead with grounded perception. Let her feel that you saw the version of her that is hidden beneath all the surface comments she normally receives. Then, if you choose to express desire later, it will feel earned, real, and grounded. So, let me ask you, have you ever said something to a woman that made her stop smiling and just look at you, as if you touched upon something real? Reflect below if this is familiar. She paused. Because that pause, that is where true connection begins. And the next acknowledgement we will cover does not just make her pause. It makes her start to imagine exactly where this path is leading. 6. Speak the truth others are too timid to voice. Let me share something that most men will never hear. Women do not remember the safe man. They remember the man who made them feel something authentic. And that does not happen when you say what is expected. It happens when you speak a truth that no one else dares to utter. Here is the trap most men fall into. They try to be liked. They try to be pleasant. They try to be agreeable. And in the process, they say nothing of substance. They walk on eggshells. They overthink every word. They filter themselves so intensely that they lose all their presence. And guess what? She feels that. She does not feel excitement. She does not feel curiosity. She feels a gentle boredom. But the man who steps in and says what she has never heard before, he does not just stand out, he stays in her mind. So what does that sound like? Here is one way. I find that people who smile constantly are often hiding the deepest oceans within. Now stop. You did not insult her. You did not become aggressive. You just offered a truth that most people are too afraid to voice. It is insightful. It is real. It is thought-provoking. But most importantly, it is authentic. And women do not crave more empty compliments. They crave truth that awakens them. Or try this. You seem like the kind of person who creates distance before someone can get too close. That is not flirtation. That is not sugar coating. That is a man with his eyes open. That is a man who is not afraid to perceive patterns instead of tiptoeing around them. Why does this work? Because women are accustomed to men hiding their opinions, hiding their core strength, hiding behind compliments, hoping for a certain outcome. But when you speak without fear, she leans in. Not because you are right, but because you are real. You did not say what she wanted to hear. You said what no one else would dare to. And that triggers a connection that runs deeper than charm ever could. Let me go further. It matters less to me if you like me. It matters more that we are honest with one another. That sentence ends the performance. You have just told her this is not about winning her over. It is about connecting without a mask. and that is profoundly rare. Now, understand this. Speaking these truths only works if your presence is grounded. If you are trying to be edgy to get a reaction, she will feel the insecurity. But if your energy is calm, clear, and unattached to the outcome, that is when it lands. That is when she becomes curious. That is when you become a space of mystery and truth. Because most men try to earn her attention. You just speak what is authentically on your mind, not to offend, not to manipulate, but because you are done pretending. And that makes her feel something she cannot easily explain, but will never forget. You see, the bravest thing a man can do with a woman today is to speak the truth, even when it is uncomfortable, especially when it is uncomfortable, because her beauty does not sway you. Her social graces do not faze you. Her validation is not your goal. You are the one who sees through the performance and dares to speak to the human being underneath. So, here is my question to you. Have you ever spoken a truth so real that she did not know whether to smile or simply be still with it? If this resonates, leave a reflection below. I spoke the quiet part out loud. Because if you have already felt the shift. And if you have not, you are about to. Because in the next part, we will flip the script. And I will show you the one kind of acknowledgement that draws all the energy in the room towards you, even when you express it with your eyes and not your mouth. 7. Offer your appreciation with the wisdom of scarcity. Here is a clear truth. Most men hand out acknowledgements like common stones. Easy, instant. Everywhere. You look wonderful. You are so brilliant. You are incredible. And what is the result? The words lose their value. She hears them constantly. They blend into the background hum of life. But you are not most men. You acknowledge with the wisdom of a master, and a master does not speak to impress. He speaks to express. He speaks with intention, not impulse. So let me ask you, when was the last time you held back a compliment? Not because you were timid, but because you were centered and powerful. Scarcity creates value, and when your words are rare and chosen with care, your presence becomes unforgettable. You see, a woman's mind does not crave flattery. It craves a sense of deep, certain presence. The kind of energy that does not need to rush in and perform. Let us explore this further. Imagine you are in a wonderful conversation with her. Most men would be scattering compliments like seeds in the wind by now. But you are calm, curious, grounded. And then, after 10 minutes of allowing her to speak, of watching her energy unfold, you look at her and say, the way your mind works, that is a rare thing. Boom. Just like that, you have given her one precise, undeniable, and valuable acknowledgement. No filler. No attempt to win her over. Just a single sentence that lands deeply because you made her wait for it. That is what a master of presence does. Or try this. There is a stillness about you. Most people would not notice it. I do. That kind of appreciation does not just make her feel attractive. It makes her feel profoundly seen. And the best part, because you did not flood her with 10 other empty lines, that one single observation echoes. Now, let me explain the principle behind this. Ancient wisdom is clear: the less available something is, the more value it holds. So, when you make your acknowledgements rare and meaningful, you shift the dynamic. She begins to wonder, what prompted him to say that just now? Why did he choose that specific moment? What else is he perceiving that he is not yet saying? Now she is leaning in. Now she is the one seeking connection. Now you are the anchor in the frame. Let us look at the other side for a moment. When you offer too many compliments, you place yourself in the position of an admirer. You lower your own energetic state. You become the one striving to earn her approval. But when you speak like a man who does not need to be liked, who offers his approval sparingly, like one who knows his own value, you activate a connection on a level most will never touch. You are no longer trying to be chosen. You have already chosen yourself, and she can feel it. Here is the secret. The most powerful acknowledgement is the one she feels she has earned, even if she does not know what she did to earn it. Because that mystery, that gentle tension, it inspires a profound curiosity. So, use your words with wisdom. Do not flatter to fill space. Speak less but mean more. Say what is real, but say it as if it holds great value for you to share. That is how you become unforgettable. So tell me, have you ever said less and felt the impact grow stronger? If so, leave a quiet mark below. I speak with intention. Because the man who knows the value of his words knows the value of his own presence. And in the next part, we will walk through a way to leave a mark without a single word, using a presence so potent she will feel it long after you have gone. 8. Transform appreciation into an invitation. Let me offer a bold perspective. An acknowledgement is just the beginning. What makes it powerful is when it transforms into an invitation for her to step into more of her own light. Most men stop at validation. You are brilliant. You are so strong. It is safe. It is sweet. But it does not spark anything new. Because when you tell a woman she is amazing and she is already aware of it, you are just another voice in the choir. But what happens when you take that acknowledgement and flip it into an invitation? Now you have moved beyond the realm of simple friendship. Now you have stepped into the frame of a man who sees her potential and gently beckons it forward. Here is what that looks like. Let us say she is speaking about how she never lets anyone get too close. Most men would nod and say, "That is impressive." You might say, "That takes strength." But I wonder if you have built walls so high, you have forgotten the feeling of a garden growing inside them. Boom. You just turned her strength into a doorway. You honored her fortitude, but invited her to consider the vulnerability underneath it, and that gets remembered. Or let us say she is always in control, polished, composed, high status. Most men try to win her approval. But you look her in the eye and say, "You strike me as someone who is accustomed to leading. I wonder if you even remember how to simply follow the flow of a river." That phrase, it is not rude, it is not aggressive. It is a masculine mirror. It reflects something back to her that she has not seen in a long time. Because women do not just crave attention. They crave depth, boundaries, polarity, presence. And when you can acknowledge and invite in the same breath, you show her that you are not afraid of her power. You are not here to worship at her feet. You are here to engage. You are here to co-create a space. Let us look at why this works from a place of deep awareness. Simple praise makes her feel validated. An invitation makes her feel alive and stimulated. When you put them together, she feels both seen and awakened. She feels intrigued. And intrigue is the soil where true connection grows. Because when you express what most men would not, when you stand strong enough to gently rattle her reality just a little, she does not forget it. She might smile. She might offer a counterpoint. She might even tease you back. But inside, her spirit is paying attention because you just stepped out of the noise. You did not just echo what everyone else says. You woke her up. Let me offer you another one. She says, "Men are often intimidated by me." Most would reply, "Not me." You might say, "Perhaps they are." Or perhaps you have created a test that few have the presence to pass. Now, she is not sure whether to see it as a challenge or an understanding. Either way, you have her full attention. And that is the path. The man who can inspire both curiosity and introspection becomes unforgettable. But remember this, it only works if your delivery is grounded. No arrogance, no neediness, just clarity. You are not attacking. You are not proving. You are inviting her into a deeper version of herself. One she might not even know exists until you name it. That is not just flirtation, that is transformation. So, let me ask you, have you ever said something to a woman that felt like an invitation and saw her spirit rise to meet it? If yes, leave a reflection below. She met the invitation. Because if you have seen that spark, that flash of curiosity, defiance, and connection all at once, you know you are not just acknowledging her. You are activating her. And in the next part, we will go even further, because now that you have sparked the invitation, you are about to learn how to say less, do less, and yet accomplish so much more. 9. Make her wonder why your presence lingers in her thoughts. Let me ask you something profound. What makes a woman lie in bed at night and reflect on you? Not just remember what you said, but genuinely wonder, why can't I shake the feeling of his presence from my mind? It is not your appearance, not your car, not your status. It is the subtle imprint you leave upon her spirit. If you wish to stand apart, do not just impress her. Do not just connect with her. Create a space that invites her to question herself. And here is the key. You do this not by pursuing her, but by leaving space for her mind to wander and reflect. You see, people are moved by the impact, not just the interaction. They connect with the afterglow, not just the immediate moment. So, how do you create that? Start by being unexpected. Offer a subtle observation about her that feels startlingly accurate, such as, you speak as if you are very open, but I can tell you hold back the things that truly matter. Now, she is not just reacting, she is reflecting on why you saw that. Or this one, you seem very calm on the surface, but your eyes are constantly taking in the energy of the entire room. You did not flatter her, you did not offer a simple compliment. You unlocked something. That kind of moment does not end when the conversation does, it lingers. Why? Because you created an echo, and that echo keeps reverberating inside her mind long after you have departed. Let me be clear. This is not about being mysterious for the sake of it. It is about being present enough to notice what others miss, and then withdrawing just enough for her to wonder, why did that feel different? What did he see in me? Why do I feel a pull toward that feeling again? That is where the real power lies. Most men try to stay on her radar by flooding her with messages and attention. You exit with precision, and your absence becomes louder than their noise. Because she does not miss you. She misses how she felt in your presence. She misses the version of herself that only emerged when you were there. Now, here is a truly centered move. When she shares something vulnerable, do not react like everyone else. Do not say, that must have been difficult. Do not say, I am sorry you experienced that. Instead, you might simply say, that explains a great deal. Then, hold the silence. Let the quiet space pull her in. She will sit with that. She will think about that. She will feel your presence even when you are not physically around. And this is where a deep wisdom of the mind comes into play. The mind does not like open spaces. When you leave an emotional or intellectual opening, her mind will naturally work to fill in the gaps. So, she begins to tell herself stories. And guess who the main character is? You, because you created a kind of presence that sticks not with noise, but with clarity. Here is the truth. Most people forget the men who tried to be perfect. But they never forget the man who made them question their own patterns, reflect on their own being, and feel something they could not easily categorize. You become the thought she tries to set aside, but that returns when her phone is quiet, when her room feels too large, when her daily distractions cease to work. So here is your inner challenge. Can you be so grounded, so sharp, so present that your absence becomes a space for her deepest reflections? If you understand this path, reflect below. She is reflecting, but does not know why. Because if you have done it correctly, she will not just think about you. She will try to understand the feeling you stirred within her. And that is a journey she will keep pursuing until the very last moment when you finally choose whether to let her in or to keep walking with your power intact. In the next part, we will shift one final gear and show you how to seal an impression she will never erase. 10. When your acknowledgement makes her seek more, let us speak about a kind of appreciation that does not satisfy her. This may sound strange, but here is the secret. The most powerful acknowledgement is one that opens a door and leaves it slightly ajar, not sealed shut, not thrown wide open, just enough to make her wonder, what else is there? You see, most men give compliments that end the moment they are spoken. You are gorgeous. You are funny. You are so captivating. Boom. It is complete. The exchange is over. She has heard it 1,000 times before. But when a man offers words that linger, when his appreciation hints at something deeper, she does not just smile. She wants to understand more, not more attention, but more understanding. Let me show you how. She says something intelligent. Most men would say, that's very smart. You might say, I wasn't expecting that depth from you. It is subtle. It honors her intelligence, but also suggests there is more about her that you are just beginning to perceive. She will smile, but in her mind, she will wonder, what did he expect? What else does he think about me? Why did that feel exciting? You did not finish the moment. You began one, or try this. She is talking about how competitive she is. Most men say, that is attractive. You say, I can already see you do not enjoy losing. I imagine that is what keeps your spirit so restless and alive. That is not just a compliment. It is an invitation into a deeper perception. You are saying, I see something more profound, but I am not giving you the full analysis just yet. That is how you turn a simple acknowledgement into a form of mental connection. And here is the technique: do not explain it. Do not justify it. Just offer it from a centered place and let her sit in the space it creates. People remember what they feel far more than what they hear. So, if you make her feel curious, slightly off balance, yet deeply seen, you are no longer just appreciating her. You are gently haunting her thoughts. Reflect on this. Most people are desperate to be fully understood, but when someone understands you too quickly, it can be boring. When someone does almost understands you, when they catch glimpses of your inner truth, but leave you hungry for the rest, now that is compelling. That is how your words become an emotional path forward. Let us take another angle. She says something about her past, something messy, perhaps even a bit dark. Most men would avoid it, stay polite. But you lean in with your presence and say, that is the part of you I find most interesting. Now, you have done something profound. You have just honored the very thing she might try to hide. You validated the chaos, the shadow, the part of her story she thinks no one wants to touch. But you did not go overboard. You did not turn it into a therapy session. You just dropped the observation quietly, confidently, and now she is thinking about it. She is replaying it. She is wondering why that landed so powerfully, and that is what makes her want more. Not more compliments, but more of you. Not because you said something beautiful, but because you said something no one else would have dared to. In the calm and centered way you said it. That is high-level masculine presence. Here is the mindset to carry. Every acknowledgement should raise her curiosity, not just her ego. It should make her lean forward in spirit, not relax backward. It should make her feel slightly exposed, but completely safe in your presence. Let her reflect on what you did not say more than what you did. And when she walks away from you, she should not feel like she has been praised. She should feel like she has been studied, appreciated for something so specific, so rare, that it makes her wonder, who is this man? Why do I feel this way in his presence? What else does he see in me? When you can trigger those questions with just a few carefully chosen words, that is no longer a compliment. That is a seed planted in her psyche. And some seeds, they grow into a forest of wonder. So, remember this. Do not offer words to impress. Offer them to ignite. And if you have ever made a woman pause, smile, and then go quiet, you have probably already walked this path. Let me know in the comments if this resonates. I left her thinking, because sometimes it is not what you say, it is what you almost said. And that silence, that space, that is where true connection lives. Now you understand. Most men offer words to get attention. You offer them to spark emotion, gentle tension, and lasting memory. That is the difference between being remembered and being truly felt. If this journey has spoken to something real inside of you, carry its lessons with wisdom.